Pollination. What is pollination? Why does it occur? What are the different kinds of pollination? What are the agents of pollination? These things you are supposed to learn. What is pollination? Pollination is a mechanism which is adopted by nature to transfer the pollen grains from the anther to the stigma so that fertilization occurs, leading to formation of fruits and seeds. This transfer of the pollens to the stigma is called pollination. Now, why should it occur? The pollens contain the male gametes, and this is the gynosium. Inside the ovary there is one or more ovules. Inside the ovule there is a single egg cell or female gamete. So the pollens enclose male gametes, the ovule encloses the single female gamete. Both male and female gametes are non-motile in all angiosperms. The male gametes and the female gamete are non-motile. So they must be brought together. They must come in contact for fertilization to occur. That is why pollination must occur so that the non-motile male gamete and female gamete can be brought together to bring about fertilization leading to formation of seeds. Now when a pollen lands on the surface of stigma, what happens? This is the pollen grain. Inside the pollen grain there are two cells, tube cell. The larger cell is tube cell and the smaller one is generative cell. The pollen grain is surrounded by exine and intine. Exine has many prominent holes called germ pores. The cytoplasm of the pollen grain is surrounded by plasma membrane. Plasma membrane is surrounded by intine. Intine is surrounded by exine. This is a two-celled pollen grain. Now, the generative cell divides into two male gametes by mitotic division. In most of the flowering plants, the generative cell divides into two male gametes after the pollens are released, after the pollens are deposited on the stigma. And in the rest, the generative cell divides into male gametes before the pollens are released. So this is a two-celled pollen grain. This is a three-celled pollen grain. Tube cell and two male gametes. Now, the pollen grain on the surface of stigma undergoes germination. Germination means what? Germination means through one of the germ pores which are present on the surface of the stigma. Germ pores are prominent apertures. Through germ pore, the intine, which is elastic, flexible, the intine comes out. It protrudes in the form of a tube. This is the tube, which is an extension of intine, and this is called pollen tube. Inside the pollen tube, the entire content of the pollen grain can be seen. Two male gametes at the tip of the pollen tube, the tube nucleus and cytoplasm. This is a germinated pollen grain. This is the pollen grain after germination. It contains the male gametes. So these two male gametes are non-motile. They remain inside the pollen grain in the tip of the pollen tube. So this is a germinated viable pollen grain. On the other hand, the egg is inside the ovule. This is the egg. This is the egg cell or ovum or female gamete. So the male gametes must reach the embryo sac. This is the embryo sac or female gametophyte, which is present inside the ovule, and ovule is inside the ovary. So pollen tube, which contains male gametes and tube nucleus, must come and enter embryo sac and fertilize the egg cell. This is the egg cell inside the embryo sac, and these are the male gametes inside the pollen tube. So this pollen tube must enter embryo sac to fertilize the female gamete. So this is achieved only after the process of pollination occurs successfully. So pollination must occur to bring the male and female gametes together so that fertilization occurs, leading to formation of seeds. Now, you understood what is pollination, why should it occur, then what are the kinds of pollination? Pollination can be classified into three different types: autogamy, geitonogamy, genogamy, or allogamy. Autogamy, geitonogamy, genogamy, or allogamy. Now, in a normal flower, complete autogamy does not occur. It is very rare. It is a normal bisexual flower which is called Chasmogamous. It is a flower which has both anther and stigma, so it is bisexual or hermaphrodite or monoecious flower. It is Chasmogamous because it is a flower which naturally opens in a particular season and exposes both anther and stigma. So in a normal bisexual flower, which is called Chasmogamous, autogamy rarely occurs. Autogamy does not occur. Why? What are the reasons? The reasons are: number one, in a normal bisexual flower which opens and exposes the reproductive parts, there must be a synchrony between release of pollens from the anther and receptivity of the stigma. There must be a synchrony between release of pollens and receptivity of the stigma. That means the pollen release and stigma receptivity must occur simultaneously. The time pollens are released, the stigma must become receptive, must become mature, must be able to receive the pollens. But this does not happen. So autogamy fails to occur. The second reason is the stigma and anther must lie very close to each other so that the pollens automatically come in contact with stigma. But this does not happen. So in a normal bisexual flower which opens and exposes anther and stigma, complete autogamy is rare. When the flower opens, the stigma receives pollen grains of some different flowers or different plants. Because autogamy is transfer of pollen grains from the anther to the stigma within the same flower. Autogamy means transfer of pollens from the anther to the stigma within the same flower. So complete autogamy is rare in normal bisexual flowers, which are called Chasmogamous flowers. Now there are certain flowering plants like Viola, Commelina, Oxalis. They have two types of flowers. In the same plant, they have two types of flowers: Clistogamous flowers, Chasmogamous flowers. The chasmogamous flowers are normal flowers which open and expose anther and stigma. They may or may not undergo autogamy. They may undergo cross-pollination. Clistogamous flowers are different. Clistogamous. The clistogamous flowers, they are very specific because they remain in the form of bud. They do not open. Clistogamous flowers remain in the form of bud. They do not open. They do not expose anther and stigma. So inside the bud, anther and stigma lie very close. They are not exposed. So when the anther dehisces, pollens automatically come in contact with stigma. So there is no chance of cross-pollination. There is no scope for cross-pollination. No external agent is required for bringing the pollens to the stigma. There is no need of pollinator. There is no need of pollinating agent. Pollination occurs inside the flower bud because it never opens. So clistogamous flowers are the only flowers where autogamy occurs. They are invariably autogamous. There is no chance of cross-pollination. Clistogamous flowers are invariably autogamous. Only autogamy occurs. There is no chance of cross-pollination. Now, what is the advantage and what is the disadvantage of clistogamy, clistogamous flowers? The advantage is the clistogamous flowers remain in the form of bud and they undergo only self-pollination, that is autogamy. As a result, even in the absence of pollinators, even in the absence of external agents of pollination, they can produce viable seeds. They can produce normal seeds. They are capable of producing viable or normal seeds even in the absence of pollinators. What is the disadvantage? Since the clistogamous flowers are invariably autogamous, the pollen grains of the same flower or same bud are deposited on the stigma generation after generation. Same types of flowers, same types of plants are produced from the seeds. There is no variation among the progeny plants. Genetically similar pollens are always deposited on the stigma, forming seeds, and those seeds germinate into same types of plants generation after generation. There is no variation among the progeny, among the offspring. So they have very minimum chances of evolution. This is the disadvantage. Now, geitonogamy. It is another type of pollination which is functionally cross-pollination but genetically autogamy. Geitonogamy means transfer of pollen grains from one flower to another flower but on the same plant. This requires pollinators, air, wind, or insects to transfer the pollens from one flower to another flower. So it is a type of cross-pollination, but functionally. But genetically similar pollens are deposited on the stigma. The pollens which are transferred and deposited on the stigma come from the same plant, from the same parent. Genetically, they are autogamous. So, geitonogamy is a type of pollination which is functionally cross-pollination but genetically self-pollination. Because the pollens which are deposited on the stigma come from the same plant. Genetically similar pollens fertilize the ovules. Now, genogamy or allogamy. It is the only type of cross-pollination in which genetically different pollens are deposited on the stigma. Because in genogamy, pollens are transferred from the flower on one plant to the flower of another plant. So pollination occurs between two different plants, two different individuals. They belong to the same species, but their genetic makeups are different. Two different plants, two different parents. They are genetically different, though they belong to the same species. So genogamy involves deposition of genetically different pollen grains on the stigma. So it is the only type of pollination where pollens which come and get deposited on the stigma belong to different plant. They are genetically different. It is the cross pollination. It is the actual cross pollination.